All right, hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Buckle up because today we are going to tackle boosting that immune system, naturally.
Yeah, gonna try to make you, like, almost invincible.
Invincible, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to fight off those colds and just feel energized? And we're not just skimming the surface here.
No, no, no.
We're going deep, deep, deep,
Deep dive.
deep dive, exactly. We've got research galore, and we're going to give you that cheat sheet to better health.
Yeah.
So first things first, did you know that, and this is something I find so fascinating, your immune system, it's like this incredible army inside you,
It's true.
fighting off infections, diseases, all that nasty stuff, 247.
Yeah, and never stops. It's incredible.
Never stops. It's amazing. But like any army, it needs the right supplies, the right fuel,
Absolutely. You can't send them into battle, unequipped.
unequipped, right? So let's talk about nutrition.
Yeah.
And it's not just about eating healthy in general. It's about specific nutrients, right?
It's key. It's so key.
Key, and their impact on different parts of that immune army.
You gotta know what each one does.
So, we always hear about antioxidants.
Yes.
And I was reading about this in some of the research,
Right.
and it's like they're not all created equal, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So what are we seeing here? What's standing out to you?
Um, there's this really cool antioxidant sulforaphane.
Sulforaphane. Try saying that 5 times
I
fast.
know, right? But this one, it's potent, and it's found in those cruciferous veggies:
Okay. So like broccoli, we're talking.
broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale.
Okay. All right. So we're getting specific.
They are
We're not just saying eat your greens.
right, because it actually activates this pathway that helps those immune cells, those soldiers, identify threats.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
So it's not just about fighting them off. It's about recognizing them in the first place.
exactly. It's like giving them night vision goggles.
Wow, that's a great analogy.
Right.
Okay, so broccoli is going on the shocking list.
Top of the list.
Top of the list. All right. What else? What about, you can't talk about immunity without talking about vitamin C.
Vitamin C, it's the classic, right? But what's cool is that, the research, it highlights its role in supporting these natural killer cells.
Natural killer cells. Those sounds pretty hardcore.
They're like the special forces of the immune system.
Whoa. Elite fighters.
Yeah,
So what? Citrus fruits? Obviously, we all know that.
right.
But anything else that's a good source?
You know what's surprising? Bell peppers.
Bell peppers.
And even potatoes.
Okay, potatoes for vitamin C? I would not have guessed that.
I know, right?
All right, what about garlic and ginger? I mean, I use those all the time just because they make everything taste amazing.
Right, they add so much flavor.
But do they actually have those immune boosting properties that, we always hear about?
Well, they've been used medicinally for centuries, like way, way back. Yeah, like traditional medicine all over the world.
Love, that's amazing.
Right. And now modern research is starting to catch up and say, hey, wait a minute, they were onto something.
Right.
Garlic, especially, it has compounds like allicin.
Allison.
Yeah, and they have antimicrobial and even antiviral properties.
Wow, so they actually do help ward off those bugs.
They do, they do.
All right, so we've got our fruits, our veggies, our flavorful allies in the fight.
Right.
What about protein? What's protein's role in all of this?
Oh, protein is critical. You can't forget protein because it's the building blocks for antibodies.
Antibodies, those are like the targeted weapons.
Exactly, like guided missiles seeking out those specific invaders.
So important.
Yeah.
What are some good sources? I mean, obviously, lean meats, fish.
Yeah, those are great. Eggs, of course.
Eggs, yeah.
And then, for those who prefer plant-based, lentils, beans, all fantastic sources of protein.
So many options. So many delicious options.
Right. And what's interesting, what I was seeing in the research is that, it's not just about getting enough protein. It's about making sure you're getting all those essential amino acids.
Oh, that makes sense. So a variety of sources is key.
Variety is the spice of life and the strength of your immune system.
I love it. I love it. All right, now, I'm guessing there are some things we should avoid feeding this army, right?
Of course. Of course.
Processed foods, sugar, all the usual suspects.
Yeah, the usual suspects. They're like saboteurs. They weaken your defenses.
They're working for the other side.
Exactly. Exactly.
But beyond the obvious, is there anything else that we should be mindful of?
One thing that really jumped out at me from our research was alcohol.
Alcohol. Oh, okay.
Yeah, excessive alcohol consumption specifically.
Okay.
It seems to really disrupt that balance of gut bacteria.
The gut, yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, and that can have this ripple effect on immunity.
So the gut immune connection is real,
It's
right?
very real.
Like they're best buddies working together.
It's a two-way street, A healthy gut means a strong immune system.
Right, and the sources really dove deep on that, didn't they?
They did.
Fascinating stuff.
It is. It's really fascinating. Probiotics are key here, right?
Probiotics, yeah.
Yogurt, fermented foods, things like sauerkraut,
Kimchi,
kimchi, yeah, all those good things.
they're the stars of the show.
They are, they
And
are.
one of the studies even talked about specific strains, right?
Yeah, it gets even more specific.
Specific strains.
Like Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG.
Okay, so it's not just about taking any probiotic. It's about understanding which strains might actually be most beneficial.
Right, you want the right troops for the right battle.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so we've talked about food,
Right.
but it's not just about what we eat, is it? It's about our lifestyle as well.
Absolutely, you can't ignore those daily habits.
So let's talk about sleep.
Sleep, oh, so crucial.
I mean, I know when I don't get enough sleep, I feel it, right?
Right, you're just not as sharp.
Not sharp, not as energetic.
And your immune system, it feels it too, because when you're asleep, that's when your body is repairing, recharging.
Right. It's like hitting the reset button.
Exactly. And it's recommended, that sweet spot, 7 to 9 hours.
7 to 9 hours. Got to aim for that. All right. What about exercise? I mean, we all know we should be moving our bodies.
Yes.
But are there specific types of exercise that are more beneficial for the immune system than others?
The research seems to point to moderate intensity activities.
Moderate intensity. So we're not talking, hardcore marathon running.
No, no, no. Think brisk walking, swimming, cycling.
Okay, so stuff that gets the heart rate up, but you're not completely, wiped out afterwards.
Right. You don't want to overdo it because, believe it or not, high intensity exercise, that can actually suppress the immune system temporarily.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's like your body's putting all its energy into recovering.
Okay, so finding that balance is key.
Balance is key in so many aspects of health, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. All right, now stress. Stress is a big one for me, for a lot of people.
Stress is huge. It's a silent killer, and it messes with your immune system, too.
It really does. I'm curious, what are some practical strategies for managing stress? Like beyond the usual advice, right?
Well, mindfulness practices, they're really powerful.
Mindfulness practices, so we're talking like meditation, deep breathing,
Exactly.
yoga.
Yoga, yeah, all of that. And your sources, they actually delve into the science behind why these things work.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they can actually help regulate those stress hormones.
Those pesky stress hormones.
Yeah, the ones that are wreaking havoc.
So, but by managing those, we're actually helping our immune system function better.
Exactly. It's all connected.
I love it. All right, one more thing I'm seeing a lot about, sunlight and vitamin D. What's the connection there?
Vitamin D is essential. It plays a vital role in regulating those immune responses. And sunlight exposure, that's how our bodies produce it naturally.
So we need some sun.
A little bit of sunshine does a body good.
But for those of us who, maybe can't get enough sunlight, what are some other sources?
Well, you can get it through your diet.
Diet, okay.
Things like fatty fish,
Fatty fish, all right.
eggs, mushrooms even.
Mushrooms, interesting.
And then, of course, you can always supplement if needed.
All right, so multiple ways to get that vitamin D.
Exactly.
All right, so this has all been fantastic information.
It's been a great deep dive.
The deep dive, yeah, a deep dive into the immune system. But what about those times when you feel like you needed an extra boost?
I know what you mean.
Right. What do the sources say about natural supplements?
Well, there's a lot of interesting research out there.
Okay.
Elderberry seems to be a popular one.
Elderberry, yeah.
Zinc.
Zinc, okay.
Even some medicinal mushrooms have antiviral and immune modulating properties.
Wow, medicinal mushrooms. That's fascinating.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. But of course, and this is always important to remember, always talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement regimen.
Right, especially if you have any underlying health conditions or are taking other medication.
Absolutely.
Safety first, always.
Okay, so to recap, we've learned that boosting our immune system naturally involves a multi-pronged approach. Eating a nutrient-rich diet, prioritizing specific foods like broccoli, garlic.
Don't forget the potatoes.
The potatoes, yes, for vitamin C. Getting enough sleep, engaging in moderate exercise, managing that stress.
Yeah, stress management is key.
It's huge. It's huge. And even considering those targeted supplements when appropriate.
Right, if you need that extra boost.
It's fascinating how interconnected it all is.
It really is. It's like this beautiful web all working together to keep us healthy.
So knowing all of this, what one change will you make today to prioritize your immune health? I mean, it's a question we should all be asking ourselves, right?
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be a huge, overwhelming change.
Even small, consistent changes can make a big difference over time.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, even small steps, can lead to big improvements in your overall health and well-being.
You've got this.
We've got this. SDT